So, everyone, learners, let's move on to the first learning of the day, which we've been waiting for. We've been waiting for a beginning of the learning session for today. So, the first learning of the day is none other than Distinguished Toastmaster Sijil. Distinguished Toastmaster Sujil joined our wonderful Toastmasters fraternity in the year 2010, and since then, he's been immensely passionate about Toastmasters. He is also a past Division J director, and currently he's Assistant Program Quality Director for District 105, along with DTM Deepak. He has been the instrument in a huge success of the recently conducted Train the Trainer event on 26th of June 2022, conducted by the PQD team. He's an engineer turned project management professional who loves traveling and reading. However, his passion is sports. When I asked him what is that he learned last, he said, I keep learning every day and learning never stops. That's the perfect way to be. Thank you so much, DTM Sujil. Over to you. Dear learners, let's welcome this PQD star of the team. Come on, let's clap together for him. We can use the emoticons button there, please. Reaction button, go ahead, clap for him. DTM Sujil, the stage is all yours.
Good morning, everyone. Am I audible? Can I have a thumbs up, please? Oh, yeah, thank you. Program Quality Director, DTM Deepa, Division Directors, learners, participants, very warm morning to you all. Thank you for joining us on a Sunday morning. Probably you might have some other plans, but as we say, learning never stops. Keep learning, keep growing. Today, my duty is to impart you a bit of wisdom on dashboard training. So let us dive into it right away. Here we go. Yes, I think our Zoom master has allowed the chat. Chat is open. So if you have anything in the middle of the discussion, in the training, you can always put in the chat and we will be responding to you. Now, my first question to you, you might have given your numbers from the Toastmasters, but there is something which we always forget to keep close with us. That is a club number. How many of you can remember your club number? Can I have a show of hands, please? Not much, yeah? Oh, good. Okay, that is something really great. I come from a club called Dunes Toastmasters Club, and the number is 919010. I think we need to carry it proudly. And another thing which we need to carry on a chest is a Toastmaster spin. Toastmaster spin is very, very important. That gives us an entry to any Toastmasters club around the world, and it should be proudly displayed on a chest. Agree with me? I think yes. Let's slightly get into the main things of today. Now, most of us are into some sort of reports. Mostly in the professional life, we might have reports every day. So what do they tell us? We need to dig deep into those reports. Only then we find exactly the details what we are looking for, whether we are on track. There is something which we need to rectify. Yes, there is a famous quote which I always go with it. If you want to find a pearl, you need to dive deep. Very true. In Toastmasters as well, if you want to know more about the functioning of the club, you need to dig deep, dive deep. Every information is available on Toastmasters website, but only you need to deep. As we move forward, most of the things I will be explaining, most of the things maybe due to lack of time, you might have to keep aside a bit, but most of the things I can assure you, I am going to cover this afternoon, this morning on the dashboard side. Now, you log on to, let's log into the, I'm going to do a PPT. The simple reason is I could have taken you through the live. However, there might be a slight lag if you try to log in, and if you are not up to speed with me, then there might be a lag, which the training might be not worthwhile. So that is why I'm taking the route of PPT today. So you need to log into Toastmasters website. This is the page where it is going to take you to. And there is an important tab there, Leadership Central. As a club officers, yes, click onto it. Today, we are going to talk about few important points which are going to come up there. One is the Club Central and the Club Officer tools. Club Central is the most important. As a club officer, you can get lot of information, and a lot of transactions can be done over there. And the other side is the Distinguished Performance Reports. Mainly, it is linked to where as a club, how the club is performing on your Distinguished Club Program, TCP points. That is where the details can be looked into. The other one is a governing documents. I think if time permitting, we will go through it. Otherwise, we might have to keep it aside. Anyhow, let's get started on the Club Central. Now, there is one more tab which is very useful, which is the resources. Resources, it provides you a lot of information about the speech contests, the brand portal, all those things. This is, you can look into it as and when time permits. Now, there are two sites, as I said, the Club Central and the dashboard. Let's get with the Club Central. Now, if you click onto the Club Central, there is an important, these are the things which you can do, the club membership and the club administration. Let's start with the club membership. But before that, the arrow pointer is leading to something. Click here for Club Central tutorials. Whatever I'm going to teach you is no rocket science. Everything is detailed there. Time permitting, definitely have a look into this. A lot of information available there. And the second one is the feedback. If you go through the Club Central, and if there is something which you think can improve, or if you have any comments, there is a feedback form, type in. The Toastmasters International is going to review it. Let me tell you, you cannot expect a reply in a day's time, week's time, no. These feedbacks, they're going to take it. If it is worthwhile, it will be discussed and they will try to implement it. But it is always evaluation. We as Toastmasters, we work on evaluations. If you have any feedback, please put in. Now, moving on, the Club Central will start with the club membership. There will be a tab for the add membership. This is where, as a new member, you can add his details, his or her details. By default, it is going to take you to dual or reinstated member. If that is the case, it is simple. You just need to provide the name and the email address, etc. You can search and you can reinstate the member. Any VP membership, if you want to reinstate old members, yes, that's where it is. And if it's a new member, you go to the new member, you select the new member tab, and then you need to plug in all the details. The member's address, contact number, email. Please ensure you have a correct email in there, because all the correspondence in future will be through that email. Toastmasters International considers email as the primary mode of communication. So please be specific on that. Now, the next one is the submit payment. this is where the list of membership, the members list will be in there, and you can see the start date and the end date where you can renew the membership. You can create the invoice for the payments done, etc. So all the members, the members who are in your role in the club will be listed there. So you can, it is the easiest way of doing the payments. Moving forward, you need to provide all your credit card details, etc., whatever the modes of payment, you can do that. So this is where the payments are done. The treasurer, please note that. Now, what are the 2 dates very important for us as Toastmasters? There is a deadline. Deadlines come in September, because for us we have 2 cycles starting from October 1st and April 1st. So end of September, end of March, we need to have the membership renewal done. Earlier the better, because as we approach towards those dates, there might be a slight delay in getting the things processed because of too much of traffic on there. So that is the first 2 sets. Now moving on, submit education awards. VP education. As you all know, probably many of the VP education, recently we have laid these things. The education awards will be updated in 2 places. One is the Club Central and the other one is the Pathways. In the Pathways, the Basecamp manager is going to do the needful, and you can come in here and complete the cycle. Only if you complete the membership awards in here for the particular member, it will be reflected. It will only then be reflected in your DCP awards list. The moment you update here, it will be reflected. Otherwise, it will not be. So please ensure. If you select a member, you can select in all the list of the members will be in the role. You can select the member and update the education award. The club roster. The club roster will give you the entire list on the roles of your club. The information you can get out is the date up to when is eligible, or the fees are paid, his address, etc., etc. And more importantly, whether the member is Pathways enrolled. And this roster, you can export it to Excel and you can do the needful later. If you want to sort out something, you can do there as well. I hope we are all on page, up to speed. Yes. Let's continue then. That is on the club membership side. Now, moving on to the club administration. There's a lot of information you can get in here. Let's start with club administration, what club office assignment. Can I request anyone in the audience why this is important? What is this all about? Okay, this is about on June 30th. We need to update the next set of officers who are going to take the club forward, the new set of ExCom members. Why it is important? You have a DCP point against this. If you complete it before 30th of June, it will be reflected. You will have a head start on your DCP goals. The points will be credited. Now, worldwide, some clubs follow 6-month cycle. Toastmasters International allows that. But in this part of the world, more often than not, we see an yearly cycle. We start from 1st of July and on June 30th next year. And if you have a 6-month cycle, if you need to have a credit, as a club officer, you need to do 2 cycles. If it is 6 months, if it is a year, it should start from 1st of July to 30th June. Now you might ask me a question. If a club officer had to leave the club, or if he is moving out of the country or something, is there a possibility we can change? Yes, definitely we can change. Now, then comes the question about the credit. If you need to have the credit, it should be a 12-month cycle. And to add on to that, the club officer assignment will be tallied to the first day of the month for the corresponding month. Let me say, if a person was replaced on 25th August, let me say, but his credit will start from the 1st of August. Yes? Okay. If any questions, you can have a chat on this. The club demographics. This is where the details of the clubs, the mailing address, all the informations we plug in there. The club meeting dates, etc., etc. Now, I think most of the clubs don't give much importance here, but it is very important. Membership composition. Where do you meet? All those things need to be put in here. I'm going to come back to this a bit later. Now, if somebody put in, you know why? Anybody can tell me why this is important, the club demographics? I'll tell you why. The reason is, if somebody is going to put in a search for a club, and if it is if, for example, you say that it is a restricted, some corporate, for example, I'm taking an example of a corporate. The corporate clubs are restricted. So when somebody put in a search, they will understand that that is a club which has a restricted access. So if you want to go in as a guest, probably that is not the club. So these information are available there when you search for the club. The club meeting dates, etc., can be put in here. So please ensure that these are filled in and kept up to date. And the language also. If there are some language clubs, if somebody is interested to find a particular language club, yes, they can put in a search and find these details. Now, this is something very interesting. Earlier, in the past, we didn't have this eligibility assistant. How, for example, a club officer or the contest official, I would say contest official rather. A contest official needs to check the eligibility, whether the person who is contesting that contest is eligible, whether he is paid member and his club is in a good standing state. This is where you need to provide the details. A member's ID, the details will be shown whether he's eligible or not. It is quite handy when you run a contest. So eligibility assistant. Please make a note of any club officials in the future. This is an easy way to check. Now, distinguished performance reports, I'm going to come back to it in a bit because we'll be talking about in detail. Administrative reports. How many of you, probably very few, might know about who the charter members of your club? I'm going to take an example. Recently, one of the clubs, which I often visit, they were conducting 10-year anniversary celebration. So what they did was they dug in and took the contact of all those the charter members, and they ensured these charter members were invited. So Toastmasters International gave a lot of importance to these things. The charter members, the past and the present club officers list, the past and present education awards, these are all listed here. There might be some requirements you will need to check. The education awards in the past, what the club has achieved in the past. Yes, this is the place. The reports can be generated instantly. The past and present club officers, the reason is that if you want to claim any recognitions, yes, you can go in and check the details there. Now, club financials. This is where all your, for the last 3 years, the reports can, for your club's transactions, Toastmasters International is available here. And the details can be exported to Excel. I think some clubs who keep their finances in order and up to date, and especially I would take that example of clubs, corporate clubs. They might require all this in order. So you can always go back and dig in here. This is the details. These are the details on the financial aspect of the club. The reports are available. You can. Club achievements. I think this is something really, really brilliant. What awards you had achieved in the past. Now, what are the 3 awards as membership building programs Toastmasters run in a year? I would say anybody in the chat, you can put in the chat. I'll give you a couple of minutes, correction, 10 seconds, let me see, 10, 15 seconds, you can take in. What are the club membership programs Toastmasters run in a year? Oh yes, this is Medley. Beat the clock and talk up. Yes. Now, I think it is really proud. It's a proud moment when the club received these awards. As I said, I come from the club called Dunes, and we proudly display those ribbons. The award data is available here. You can select it, and the details will be available. Let's quickly move forward. This is very important. Probably, I think this is the very important aspect how a club should run. Now, if we need to, when we charter a club, everything is set on stone there, I would say. We have written that when the club will be meeting, whether the club is, whether the club is going to have open membership, where the club is going to meet, what is all the bylaws are put in there. Now, if we need to change something, let me take an example. If we need to change the meeting date from Tuesday to Thursday, definitely there should be a motion has to be passed during the club business, the business meeting of the club. ExCom can discuss it, but it should be put in motion, and the motion should be passed. And in a club, a motion, it should have a majority of the voting members. So it should be 51 for the club. During that meeting, the quorum should be attained, and we should have a majority. Only then we can change. Once it is changed, we can come back here and we can create the addendum of the standard club options. It is a step-by-step process. You can then update it. Then it will be updated in the TMI as well against your club, the details. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me or reach out to PQD team rather. We are there to help you out. I'm not going to go through in detail. We have 10 items there, but I'm not going to go in detail. You can always look into it. And if there's any questions, you can always get back. Now, the next important is the meeting location, etc. What we need to, the contact details of the club. As I said, this is very important. You can, as a VP membership, you can use this. This can be a tool which can aid you in getting members. As somebody who has heard about Toastmasters and they want to search, on the Toastmasters International, a club near to me. If you have provided the location, if you have provided the details correctly, hopefully, and thank God, it's gonna take you to the nearest club. And if your club is near to that the person who is trying to put in a search, yes, bingo, you can have a guest. So please ensure that you update these details on the Toastmasters website against your club. Definitely, this will be a tool which might help you. That is on the club administration. And there is one more point which I didn't dwell much into it, which is a club success plan, because we have a separate session. Toastmaster Asha is going to discuss in length. So I'm not going to discuss that side, because CSP is also an integral part of club administration, which will be dealt with later during the training session. Now let's quickly move to the Distinguished Club Program goals. So what is Distinguished Club Program? If you achieve 9 points, if you achieve 5 points, it's a Distinguished Club, 7 points, Select Distinguished Club, and 9 points, President Distinguished Club. I think every club should try to achieve President Distinguished status, because we are all working towards something great. We are here to learn. Why don't we maximize it? We put in our efforts so that we have a wonderful, wonderful Toastmasters journey, correct? If each one of us put in our efforts, definitely the club is gonna be excelling. We'll have quality meetings. We'll be having quality evaluations, quality speeches. Yes, we will be retaining members. We will have more guests joining us. More guests means you have probability of converting them into members. Probably, I would say 90% chances if we have a good meeting. With that, these are the things what we need to do. So I'll go into that a bit deep. So this is where the dashboard page will take you or land you to. So what are the important things you need to look into? So if you want to, you don't have to log in, etc. In Toastmasters International website itself, if you want to do a club search, you can put in your club number and it will take you directly to your club details. So in your club, and one more thing I need to explain to you is the date. You can set it to any date. If you want to know, if you are during the year, if you want to know somewhere on 30th July, where did I stand? Yes, we can do that. If you want to know where do I stand after, let me say, we are somewhere in middle of January. I wanted to know some details in November, we can pull it out. It is driven by dates also. And on the right side, you can see the goals. So this detail was, I had taken this somewhere on 8 July, and this was for my home club, Dunes Toastmasters Club. At that period, this was a reflection of the last year's, because the dashboard was not updated, but let me say the last year data was there, and the club has achieved 9 goals. The club has achieved 9 goals. So now, what are those? Out of the 10 DCP points, which has been set by Toastmasters International, the first one is for education. We have 6 points dedicated for education. We need 4 members to complete level 1. It can be from any parts, but 4 members to complete level 1. We need 2 members to complete level 2, so that you will get 1 DCP point. We need another 2 level 2s so that point number 3 is covered. Now we move forward. Level 3 awards, we need 2. That is 4 points covered there. Now 5 and 6, it is at the top end. You need to have level 4s, level 5 or DTM awards. That is a criteria for the final points, final 2 points, 5 and 6. So that will cover your education. Now, as we progress, you can see the tick marks. Once we complete it, the tick mark will be displayed. In case you have completed only 2, this tick mark will not be shown there. I hope you're all up to speed with me. And then the next one is the marketing. We have 2 points, which is for the membership or the marketing side. So the VP membership's domain, this is his domain. We require 4 new members and another set of 4 new members. My club apparently had only 5 new members. That's why we had 4. We had a tick against the first 4 and we had only 1 more. So that is where we just missed out on 10 on 10. Next up, we have the training. That is why we are here today. The first set of trainings, 4 club officers need to be trained at least. But if 7 of them are trained, you get a ribbon from Toastmasters International and you'll be proudly receiving an award at the DTAC. The Super COT 7. However, all 7 club officers need to be trained during the both COT sessions. The next COT session probably will be somewhere in December. Notification will be sent out, but please ensure all the 7 club officers are trained. The training is something which we need to encourage because it will help in the smooth running of the club. Last but not the least, that is the admin side. So first up, you need to put in the list of club officers. Then the payments, you need to pay on time. That will cover your 10 points. So in my case, case, Dunes Toastmasters Club completed 9 DCP points, and definitely will be distinguished, President distinguished status. This we discussed earlier. Now, that's it from my side. I will stop sharing my screen. If you have any questions, then definitely look into it. Now, let us keep any questions.
DTM Sujal, there's some on chat. Yeah. Hi, DTM Sujal, Tulika here. There's some on chat. You want me to help you out?
Yes, please.
Sure. So there's a question by Divya Rai. She asks that to change bylaws or constitutions, 2/3 majority is required. This includes, I think she's answering the question. There was one more question. How do we need to change bylaws or constitution, and does it require 2/3 majority?
No, that is for the club. If you go to the details, it is all available. It should be, we need to pass a motion. Yes, in the club, the majority is 51 voting members.
Noted. I'll move to the next.
Members. Okay. Yes, please.
Sorry. The next question is, by what date should we complete these education goals for PQD by AMEA? By Toastmaster AMEA.
What do they mean by, because are we talking about the PQD awards?
Can we unmute him, Zoom Master? Toastmaster Amaya VPE.
Because there are two sides. They are asking about PQD awards. It is the cutoff, most of the cutoff dates, April 30th.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Yeah, hi.
Good morning.
Good morning, DTM Social. You just showed the last screen for the education awards, right? On that, do we have an end date, or can we do it by, say, March?
Okay, there are two sides of it. If you're talking about the PQD awards, I mean, more detail will be shown during the award session. We have provided the cutoff date as April 30th. Yeah, that is, right. You might be asking me why. The reason is that it will help us to send out the awards during the DTAC. But the June 30th is the other side for the Toastmasters International.
Okay, sure.
But there are clubs, let me tell you this, there are clubs who plan it out so that these are being done much ahead of time.
I understand.
We don't want a mad rush at the end of the session. Yes, I will take another two questions and that's it. We'll move on then.
I think there's someone who's raised her hand. EPM Aisha, do you have a question?
No, Mama.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, then let's move on. If there is any question, they can always reach out to the PQD team. That's it from my side. Back to you, Tulika, Toastmaster Tulika.
Thank you, DTM Sujil. I am sure that all our learners here have learned a lot. And thank you so much for the dashboard training. Let's give a round of applause for DTM Sujil, please, for taking us through this wonderful session. Fantastic. Thank you. Please use the emoticons, emotions, reactions button so that he's happy and motivated as well. Thank you so much.